Buckle up, y'all, because I am about to drop some free money game and you do not want to miss it. What up, y'all? I'm Liz Marie, a brand strategist and creative, and I help badass women and BIPOC entrepreneurs overcome chaos, level up their brands, shatter glass ceilings, and build generational wealth. That's why we do it. So it's only fitting that we talk about money. Because here's the thing, money fucking matters. Like a lot. And not just because it's nice to have nice things or to travel or, live this life of luxury. It matters because it affords you safety, health, and security. Things like safe housing, access to healthy foods, access to good schools. It gives you the opportunity to get out of survival mode all the time, or to even retire when you're older and not just work until you die. Money is life-changing. It is cycle breaking. Money matters. There are so many factors at play that reinforce the existing economic inequality in our country and in the world. I could go on and on about that. And here's the thing, we're not taught about money. We're not taught about it in school. A lot of us aren't taught about it from our family, often because our family wasn't taught about it themselves. In fact, the people most likely to be taught about it are the people who are already wealthy. And that's why financial literacy, or knowing how to navigate finances, is a privilege that reinforces economic inequality, which is already a pretty huge fucking gap. In fact, probably pretty obvious, but in our country, white people, especially white men, are most likely to acquire, keep, and grow their wealth more than anyone else. As of 2016, the typical white family had about 10 times the wealth of the average Black family and 7.5 times the wealth of the average Latinx family. So yeah, that's a pretty fucking big gap. And I'm not saying that learning about finances is going to solve that. It's not. Like, there's so many other factors that are way beyond just knowing about money, but it might help. So just a little bit of my background. So I did not grow up with money. In fact, we had a lot of financial instability and it was really stressful, and I wasn't taught these things myself. But I fell into a career doing branding and marketing in the financial industry. So by nature, I had to learn a lot about it. And the one thing that I saw is all of that was just helping rich people get richer. And the people who really needed those resources and tools and knowledge were the exact people who didn't have access. So I'm gonna share 12 game-changing things that I have learned throughout my experiences in finance that I hope can help you in your small business journey. Number one is pretty simple. Businesses build wealth. If you are here watching this video, chances are you own a small business and you're already well on your way. But this is one of the biggest tools to breaking out of the rat race where you're trading your time for money and often a low wage. Businesses are an incredible tool to have control over your financial freedom. Not saying that it's easy. It is a serious investment, but it's a big power move. Number two, diversify your income. Multiple sources of income, whether that's a salaried job, a business, real estate, investments, whatever it may be, is a way to ensure your financial growth, but also safeguard you in case something bad happens and one of those income streams disappears or there's a stock market crash or whatever. The end goal is to never be fully reliant on one source of income for your financial security. Now, that's easier said than done, but you can strive for that, and any step in the right direction is a positive step. Number three, invest early and often. Now, I feel like these days conversations about investing are way more common, and like my 10-year-old nephew has stocks and stuff, but I worked in the investment industry for years and years before I ever invested myself. I was writing every single day about the value these things provide, and I just didn't think I had enough money, didn't know where to start. I always figured, oh yeah, of course I will do that later. And that alone speaks to the barriers to entry. If I'm familiar with this, working in the industry, and I'm still not doing it. So what hope does someone have that never learned about this, doesn't have this access, feels like it's totally scary, doesn't understand it? But the reality is, it is a game changer. There are so many books and videos on investing that could explain this way better than I could, but here are a few key points to keep in mind. Investing is risky. I want to say that flat out. Like, yes, you can lose your money, but there are a lot of ways to reduce the likelihood that that would happen or to ensure that you will grow your money. So a few options if you don't know where to start are to invest in an employer-sponsored 401k. If you have one, to use a robo-advisor like Wealthfront, which I use personally. They're not sponsoring this, because you put money in and they manage it for you. They pick the stocks, you don't have to think about it, and you can pick how much risk you're comfortable with. Or if you want to play around with it on your own, you can use something like Robinhood or TD Ameritrade and buy some stocks and pick and choose and, you know, just start to get your feet wet with it. But when in doubt, number 2, buy and hold. What that means is buy stocks and just hold them for a really, really long time. The stock market is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. But over years, it's going to go upward. So if you're looking at a graph, the days might be like this, but the years tend to move upward over time. So if you buy stocks and hold them for years and years, they're going to grow. Pretty much the way it works. Part of this is because of something beautiful called compound interest. Number 3, compound interest is your BFF. What that means is you start making money from an investment on the money that you put in there. But when you make money, then you have more money to reinvest and you start making money on the money that you made. And then you make money from that and you make money on the money you made from that. So the amount that is invested, it grows over time and your money grows exponentially. Long story short, it is a very good thing. And you can see that effect in the short term, in a year or a matter of months, but you really, really, really see that over the long term. So for example, if you invest for retirement and you've had money invested for 30 years, the difference between 30 years and 35 years might be millions and millions of dollars, because at that point your account has gotten so high that you're making money on so much more money that it just continues to grow exponentially. That's also why you should start investing even if it's a very small amount to start. It could be 20 bucks a month, but put it in there so it can start growing. Don't wait until you have a whole bunch, because you're gonna miss out on the compound interest in the meantime. Any little bit counts. Last investing point, if you're starting to make like real money, like real money, it is definitely worth it to get a financial advisor versus doing it yourself. And the type of financial advisor you want to look for is called an RIA, or a registered investment advisor. They're the only type of financial advisor that is legally obligated to act in your best interest. A lot of other people can call themselves financial advisors, but they don't have to do what's in your best interest. They can make decisions that actually make them profit. So always go with an RIA. All right, number 4. So now you're investing, you need to diversify your investments. Just like diversifying your income, you want to diversify your investments so that if one thing is struggling over here, it doesn't hurt your whole portfolio. Like, you're not fucked if stocks go down. And you may not know that there are all different types of things to invest in besides stocks. You can invest in real estate, in bonds, in commodities like gold or silver. You can invest in currency or cryptocurrency. You can invest in businesses. There are so many different things to invest in that have nothing to do with the stock market. So when the stock market goes down, you'll still be good, and vice versa. And even within your stocks, you should diversify. So you're not only having tech stocks, or not only having big, huge companies, not only having US stocks. Basically, you're helping to mitigate or eliminate some of the risk by putting your eggs in a lot of baskets instead of just in one basket. Number 5, 10% adds up. So I bet you didn't know that over the course of history, since its beginning, the US stock market goes up on average 10% a year. Now, that's not to say every year it does that, but it averages out to about 10% a year. And that's considered really good. In fact, rarely can someone really beat the market by picking their own stocks or trying to do something different. That usually just doesn't happen. The stock market usually is the best bet out there. So if you consider that the baseline or the standard for good investing, how can you apply that into other areas of your life? If 10% growth is really, really good, why wouldn't you be really excited about a coupon for 10% off? Or why would you be willing to pay 18% debt on a credit card? When you start thinking of things in terms of 10% growth being the goal for a good investment, it gives you a whole new perspective on things that you're overlooking in your life that can save you money or help you grow your money. Number 6, taxes matter. We talked about compound interest and how 10% adds up so much over time. And that's why taxes matter so much, because every percentage point that you're paying in taxes is money that you could be making more money on by investing it. So you want to take advantage of every legal tax break that you can get. As a business owner, there are tons of them. There are so many expenses that you can legally deduct. The structure of your business can have tax advantages. As an investor, you can use a tax advantaged account like a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k. And as you grow your wealth, there are even more tax advantaged investment opportunities available to you, because the less you pay in taxes, the more money you have and the more money you can make. Number 7. Real estate is a game changer, period. I worked in real estate for a really long time and recently bought my first investment property. And I believe it is the best wealth generating tool that is out there. There are so many different ways to invest in real estate, from buying your own home, buying an investment property, creating an Airbnb, pooling your money with other people, or investing in a real estate fund. And there are so many different ways to make money off of it, from tax credits, getting income every month, like with a rental property, equity when the property value goes up, or even flipping homes and fixing them up so that you're injecting value into the home. And it also has nothing to do with the stock market, so it is diversified. If the stock market goes down, your property may have nothing to do with it. There are also a lot of options for investing in real estate nowadays that have nothing to do with buying a home yourself. So if that's something that is out of reach for you, there's still platforms and funds. Fundrise is one that enable you to put even small amounts of money into real estate and still reap some of those benefits. Number 8, get a good accountant. So we already talked about how taxes are a big deal. The right accountant can save you thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So even though you have to pay them more money than if you had done it yourself, chances are you're going to make that money back like tenfold. Which brings me to number 9, but you should also learn basic accounting skills yourself if you own a business, or even if you're just a human. Learning the basics is really valuable. It helps you understand your financial statements, the health of your business, your profit and your loss, what assets you have. It could even save you money if you like to do your bookkeeping yourself. I do my own bookkeeping because I like to be really aware of my money, but I paid my accountant for an hour of her time to show me how to do it, and I still reach out to her here and there for questions, and it's been really helpful, and I feel like I'm so much more equipped to understand how my business is doing because I have that knowledge. And my favorite tools for tracking my books are QuickBooks and YNAB, also called You Need a Budget, which I use for all of my personal and both of my businesses to make sure that I'm using every dollar wisely. Highly recommend it. Number 10, get life insurance. This is especially important if you have kids or family members that you care about, because life insurance is a generational wealth building tool, flat out. You pay for life insurance, you pass away, the death benefit goes to your kids. You have wealth in your family. Done. Like, you did it. It's really that simple, and it is so underutilized. Okay, so here is a real life example. One of my life insurance policies has a $150,000 death benefit. That's actually not that big, but I don't have kids yet. But I pay $50 a month for it. Let's say I pay that $50 a month for 40 years. Assuming I don't let it lapse, as in stop paying it, which is really important for a life insurance policy. If I pay it for the whole 40 years, I will have paid $24,000 in order to get a benefit of $150,000 for my family when I die. Like, it's the math is mathed. So there are a few things to consider when it comes to life insurance. There are a lot of different types of policies that have different stipulations and terms and conditions. I have a type of policy that I will pay forever for the rest of my life, assuming that I'm able. And it also has a small investment benefit, so it makes a little bit of money each month, which is also just a great advantage. The key with life insurance is to start sooner, because the older you get, the more expensive your policy will be, because the likelihood of you dying is greater. The same is true if you have a lot of health conditions. So if you are young and healthy, it is a smart financial decision to get a life insurance policy and lock in a really good rate for the rest of your life, because it's going to be a lot harder to do that later on. And unless you have a term policy that only lasts a specific amount of time, like 10 years, consistency is key. If you stop paying it and it doesn't have enough money paid into it, it will lapse, and all of that money that you have paid into it will be gone, just like if it were health insurance and you paid every month and you stop paying and then the benefit is gone. So you want to be sure that you can be consistent and pay it essentially for the rest of your life. That's why I have a policy for $50 a month. It's something that, barring any catastrophe, I will be able to afford forever. Number 11, debt wisely. Debt is really useful and dangerous. And there are some financial people who, like Dave Ramsey, who tell you that debt is the devil and you don't want any of it. And I don't personally think that's true. I think it can be really powerful. I have a mortgage on my house and I wouldn't have been able to get a house and reap the benefits of that investment without having debt. But not all debt is created equal. So paying, 3% on a mortgage is not the same as crazy auto loan or a personal loan, or of course a credit card. And if we're using that 10% rule for growth as a guideline, that lets you know maybe something in the double digits isn't the smartest type of debt for you. Number 12, credit wisely. Obviously credit is a type of debt, but I want to get real specific. I grew up afraid of credit. I never wanted to have a credit card. I thought it was such a dangerous, risky thing to do, and I was so afraid to try it. So I had no credit. And when I was in my 20s, my car got totaled and I needed to buy a new car and I had no credit. And the only auto loan that I could get had a 16.5% interest rate. 16.5 on a car. It was insane. So credit is important. Building your credit is important. Using credit wisely is important. So a good habit is to start early, get a small limit credit card, pay your payments on time. In fact, I like to pay off my entire balance every month so that I'm using it just as if it were a debit card. If you're able to do that, that's great. And slowly but surely you can build your own personal credit, which can afford you a lot of opportunities, like buying a car when you're in need or buying a home or whatever it may be. And if you didn't know, businesses also have a credit score. It is from 0 to 100, and it's important to build your business credit too in case you ever need to take out business loans or use a credit card, all that kind of thing. All right, that is it for my financial tips. I hope you learned something. I know that these were pretty big revelations for me when I came across this knowledge, because I definitely did not grow up with this stuff. It may feel overwhelming, but remember, take baby steps in the right direction. Seek out resources close to you, and when in doubt, talk about money with people around you. I am a big proponent of having these conversations with friends or people that I trust, because we need to normalize this stuff. If we don't talk about it, how are we ever gonna learn? So I challenge you to put one of these tips into action this week and drop a comment letting me know how it went. And until next time, stay badass. All right, y'all, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down there. And check me out at LizMarieStrategy or LizMarieStrategy.com.